share some thoughts with us.
The Golden Lamp Award is based on the American Nursing Association Code for Professional Nurses and the Florence Nightingale Pledge, and is given in recognition of exemplary demonstration of scholarship, leadership, professional commitment, innovative contributions and humanitarian ideals. The Monmouth campus recipient of this award is Stacey Chance.
Thank you. I am humbled by this invitation to speak at commencement. First off, congratulations to the class of 2017. We're finally here. We have worked hard, we've shared times of laughter and joy, and we've shed tears. This is the moment that we have looked forward to, and we can hold our heads high. It is truly a time to celebrate, but we are all aware that we could not have done this alone. Thank you to our faculty, to our families, to our friends, and to everyone who has supported us on our journey. I am honored to be the recipient of the Golden Lamp Award. For those of you who may not know, Florence Nightingale was nicknamed during the Crimean War the Lady with the Lamp, as she was a beacon of light for her soldier patients. They knew aid was coming when they saw the lamp. It is a symbol of caring, of hope, and illuminating the path forward. She was the first voice of nursing, and it is our charge to pick up the lamp and carry it forward. We have come to this place through many different paths, but each of us has entered nursing as a calling to serve, a calling to care, a calling to be a voice. I realize that sometimes we wondered if one voice could truly make a difference, but our educational experience has shown us, as nurses, we have value to contribute on many levels, to our patients, to families, and to our communities. We must believe in our own power and influence and bring it forward into our nursing practice. Luckily, we do not have to do this alone. Even though today marks the transition to new paths for each of us, we shall forever be one cohort. We are the OHSU School of Nursing, Monmouth, class of 2017. And as we have supported each other in the past, we need to continue forward, because supporting other nurses is key to everyone's success. Even though the nursing practice is diverse, from providing direct patient care, to educating, to being an administrator, a researcher, or a policy developer, we are all on the same team, striving toward one unified voice. Powerful obligations call to us today as we reach this professional goal. They call us to fiercely advocate for patients and clients, steadfastly believe in ourselves, and practice the art of celebration for each other and our profession. And even if you're not ready to be the loudest voice, let's not be afraid to be the first follower. Be the catalyst, advance care for patients, propel the movement. From bedsides to communities, to serving on boards, to marching the mall in Washington, D.C., there are no limits to what we can accomplish when we use our voices. Let's be fearless. Let's be bold. Let's pick up that lamp and illuminate the future of nursing. We got this. Woo!
A round of applause for all of our guest speakers. At this time, I would like to ask Alumni Board President, Mr. Tony Crawford, to please come to the podium.
Good afternoon, graduates, families, faculty, staff, and guests. My name is Tony Crawford. As president of the Western Oregon University Alumni Association, I congratulate you, the class of 2017, on your commencement. As a graduate of Western Oregon University, you are now a member of what I like to call the greatest group on earth, the Western Oregon University Alumni Association. Let me be the first to welcome you to the proud family of WOU alumni, and remember forever, we are Wolves. The Alumni Association is proud of you. You have already found your first alumni gift waiting for you in your seat today. Be sure to look inside the bag to find a water bottle, commencement program, your alumni membership card, and other important items. And after commencement, be sure to stop by the alumni tent located in the Grove to meet members of the Alumni Board of Directors. We look forward to seeing you and to welcome you to the Alumni Association. Now, each year at graduation, the Western Oregon University Alumni Association presents our most notable award, the Alumni Award of Excellence. This award is presented to an alumnus who has achieved distinction on a professional level, who's been involved in the community, and whose integrity and stature are such that faculty, staff, students, and alumni of Western Oregon University can all rightfully take pride. The winner of this year's Alumni Award of Excellence is Betty Comp. Betty came to Western Oregon as a mother in her mid-30s, raising her family and seeking a career in education. Betty earned her bachelor's degree in 1990 and later returned for her master's degree. Betty Comp distinguished herself as a teacher and school principal in the Woodburn School District. Frustrated by education mandates, Betty decided to run for public office and won a seat in Oregon's House of Representatives. As a member of the Oregon legislature, Betty Comp earned a reputation as a champion for public education. As chair of the House Education Committee, Representative Betty Comp never missed an opportunity to welcome ideas to support our education system, even ideas from elementary school students. Betty retired from the legislature, but that did not stop her selfless service. Appointed by Governor Kate Brown to the Western Oregon University Board of Trustees, Betty Comp now proudly serves the university where her career path began. Betty Comp's passion for education and selfless service to others provides a positive role model for all Western Oregon University alumni and earns her this prestigious award. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor to present the 2017 Alumni Award of Excellence to Representative Betty Comp.
I am very, very humbled. I have 4 daughters. None of them are here today because they still don't know what to do with me. But I want to leave you with only one message, and one of my heroes that I always look to for guidance is Mahatma Gandhi. And he states, be the change that you want the world to be. That's my challenge to you. Thank you.
Thank you. It is now both a privilege and honor to have Matt Utterbach as our commencement speaker today. Matt was selected last fall as Oregon Superintendent of the Year and was recently named the National Superintendent of the Year from the American Association of School Administrators. He has been the superintendent at North Clackamas School District since 2012. And during that time, the district has made major gains in graduation rates and test scores, particularly for low-income, minority, and special education students. Matt and his wife Nancy are Western alums, and Matt earned his bachelor's degree in education in 1989, as well as a teaching certificate in social studies and integrated science. He was also the WOU recipient in 1989, which afforded him the chance to be one of the speakers at his graduation ceremony. Matt now returns 28 years later to West Oregon University to congratulate you, our class of 2017. Matt?
Good afternoon, graduates. It's an honor to be here today and speak with you on my 28th anniversary in the commencement from Western Oregon. You're all here today embarking upon the next phase of your life, and I wish you every success. The world that you are entering is rich with possibilities. Our world, your world, is increasingly interconnected, interdependent, and filled with diverse backgrounds and varied perspectives. Your success will depend upon your ability to authentically recognize each person's humanity, honor their history, and respect their contributions. Since 2012, I've had the pleasure of serving as the superintendent of the North Clackamas School District, and in my care are over 17,000 students, 2,000 employees in over 30 schools. While we've accomplished many achievements, I'm particularly proud of the work that we have done to embrace equity and create inclusive learning environments for our students. Equity is not treating everyone the same. That is equality. Equity has us look at each person as an individual, affirm their identity, and build upon the gifts and strengths each of us possess. Bringing equity into our communities and workplaces requires each of us to look at our own identity and history. Perhaps sharing my background with you will explain why the issues of equity are central to me. I grew up in a small town on the Oregon coast in a family of educators. My great-great-grandfather came to Oregon on the Oregon Trail in the 1840s, and he settled not too far from here. He had a son who became a teacher who was certified to teach all subjects in the Oregon territories. My grandfather was a high school assistant principal. My father was my high school counselor. I was raised middle class with the privilege that comes from being a male, white, and the son of well-educated parents. I knew the dominant community norms, and I used them to my advantage. But unlike many in our communities today, college was always an option for me. And obviously, like others in my family, I fell into the family business. But 18 months into my teaching career at the age of 22, I was approached by my white male assistant principal and told I should consider a career in school leadership. I was flattered because he told me I had the characteristics of being a good school leader. As I reflect upon that conversation now, I realize that encouragement was also based on the fact that I matched the characteristics of the typical school leader at the time. I was white, I was male, I was familiar, and perhaps even comfortable. What many do not know, that in 1978, when I was 9 years old, my parents adopted my 7-year-old brother from a Korean orphanage. My brother John was one of the very few people of color in our community. From my brother's perspective, no one else looked like him, no one sounded like him, and it was likely that no one in our community had shared many of his experiences. John settled into our neighborhood elementary school and quickly learned English. However, as my brother approached his early adolescent years, struggles began to emerge. He began making statements like, "No one understands me, and no one looks like me." These were the first signs that we were losing him. These struggles of identity were followed by behavioral struggles, poor academic achievement. My parents sought help, tried different schools, but nothing was successful. We continued to lose him. When my brother was 18, he asked my parents if he could return to Korea. However, because John did not have an education or any career training, he was not welcomed back into his native country. After being rejected by both his adopted and native countries, my brother requested if he could move to Hawaii, where there was a larger Asian population. My brother made this move, but after years of enduring significant marginalization and rejection in his young life, that had taken its toll, and my brother completed suicide, and we had lost him. What I know today that I didn't know 30, 20, or even 10 years ago is that while many would say that our community had the best intentions of supporting my brother, the community, the school system, and even I, as his brother, did a very poor job of affirming his identity and deeply honoring his history and his culture. Instead, the system worked tirelessly to try to get him to conform to the white majority norms and customs. And clearly, the result of those efforts was devastating. It took me nearly 20 years after my brother's passing to begin to unpack his struggles and his history. I would always view my brother's actions through my white lens. And when I would do this, I was incapable of seeing the true reality of his experiences. Stepping outside of my reality and expected norms wasn't always easy or comfortable, but it was essential. It was essential in my recognition that a person's life is meant to be lived authentically, without having to wear masks or costumes to hide one's true self. Well, I had experienced the stark reality of my brother's passing on a deeply personal level. I had not recognized the impact that racism and ignorance had on my brother's life. And I humbly admit to you that it wasn't until 2009 when I began to understand his reality. It was in that year that I began to understand and look at my own white racial identity. And I learned that my whiteness matters. And I began to understand the power and the privilege and the responsibility that comes from being a male with rank. The purpose of me sharing this story with you is that while it is tragic, I don't think my brother's story is all that different from many individuals in our communities today. In fact, my brother's story may not be all that different from some of your own stories. The harder we tried to make John fit into the white dominant community, the harder he resisted and suffered. And John's story isn't unique. The isolation and the marginalization and the stigma he endured took a toll on him. And conforming to majority standards and customs that are not our own has a detrimental impact on too many of us, as well as our friends, our family members, our neighbors, and our colleagues. Recently, I had the opportunity to meet with a group of Black African American students to hear their experiences and to listen to what their lives were like as students in our school system. And what I heard was raw emotion, pain, and hurt. Our students said that the only curriculum about Black people was when we teach about slavery. Instead, our Black students need to hear about the contributions of Blacks that made throughout our history, and they need to see themselves positively reflected in the curriculum. One student said, "We want to hear and learn about the Black experience from Black writers, not from a white person writing about the Black experience." That's our dismay, but not entirely surprising. The daily hurtful rhetoric in our society is producing alarming levels of anxiety and inflaming social tensions throughout our neighborhoods and communities. And this anxiety is tremendous, profound, and real. Unfortunately, one person cannot remedy all the systemic factors that divide our society and make it challenging to see beyond our often myopic frames of reference. Yet, such work is required. It's required of us if we aim to be compassionate, thoughtful, and contributing humans. So what do we do? Margaret Wheatley recently wrote, "For too long, too many of us have been entranced by heroes. Perhaps it's our desire to be saved, to not have to do the hard work, or our preference for someone else to figure things out. Our yearning for heroes isn't helped by the constant barrage of politicians presenting themselves as the ones who will fix everything and make our problems go away if we simply follow them. It's a seductive notion, it's an enticing promise, and it's completely unrealistic. Instead of waiting for heroes, I advocate abandoning the notion altogether. Let's banish the notion of heroes, and in doing that, also banish the hopes and expectations that only breed dependency and passivity, and that do not lead us to solutions to the challenges we face. Instead, we must face the truth of our situation, which is that we're all in this together, that we all have a voice, and that we all must figure out how to mobilize the hearts and minds of everyone in our schools, our workplaces, and our communities. I know it seems overwhelming and perhaps impossible to counter the current climate, where the rules of civility and respect for differing opinions have dissipated in dramatic ways. I know it's frightening and perhaps unfamiliar to begin to unpack the dominant norms and systems and attitudes that leave too many of us feeling vulnerable and fearful to simply live life authentically. Yet at our work in North Clackamas has left me with optimism. This work has reinforced that as individuals we can and we must create the type of society where safety, respect, and love form the basis of our actions. To be clear, in no way am I espousing a specific political agenda. It is not a political act to support the safety and well-being of our friends, family members, and neighbors who are vulnerable. It is a human act. Rather, what I'm stating is that each of us, no matter what we believe, how we look, where we were born, or whom we love, is entitled to move through the world feeling safe and respected. Love for one another can make this happen. Yes, I use the word love. Unlike tolerance, which would have us acknowledge our differences, love knows that each of us has worth and value, and love compels us to defend each other from hurt and harm. When we defend each other from hurt and harm, we commit to interrupting when we hear or see offensive words and acts. When we commit to creating communities that are protected from discrimination. When we commit to communicate daily to our friends, our neighbors, and colleagues that we will protect, advocate for, and value them equally, no matter their race, their gender identity, their religion, their sexual orientation, language, or ethnicity. When we undertake these actions, we model for others what we want to hear and see from them. And one of the most powerful actions we can take is to engage in respectful conversation. This is the foundation of civil discourse. When we allow ourselves to listen to one another, and when we create space for multiple and diverse perspectives on various issues, we further develop our own critical capacity to think and to positively influence others. Earlier this year, I wrote to each of our staff members, and in that letter, I spoke about how important it is that each of us create and maintain a learning and work environment that holds at its center a sense of sincere caring, safety, and respect. I spoke on the importance of reflecting on our practices, our behaviors, and actions as a means to go back and ask ourselves, why do we do what we do? When we undertake this, it allows us to examine the impact our actions have on others. It allows us to consider if we're moving towards a stance of inclusion as opposed to inadvertently excluding others. I recognize that in our fast-paced society, it can be easy to get caught up in simply completing our daily tasks. However, I hope that you see beyond mere task completion and employ some of the strategies that I outlined in that staff letter. These strategies contribute to building an environment of care, safety, and respect in our communities, and I'd like to share those with you today. First, pronounce every individual's full name correctly. No one should feel the need to shorten or change her or his name to make it easier for others to pronounce. Explore how your own identity impacts the way you see and experience different people. Grow, learn, and change at the same rate the world around us is changing. By doing so, you won't lose touch with the lives and the context with those with whom you will interact. Continue educating yourself, be open to learning from the experiences of others, and to be challenged by diverse perspectives. Be open to critique. Be dedicated to listening actively and modeling a willingness to be changed by the presence of others, to the same extent they are necessarily changed by you. And finally, don't wait for the hero. Be the action. Notice what's going right and do more of it. Notice those who are taking action and join in. Right here in Western Oregon, there are people that practice selfless care of others with devotion and patience. An excellent example of someone who has committed themselves to creating and nurturing a sense of caring, safety, and respect for others is graduate Juan Navarro. Motivated by a profound concern for the often overlooked needs of undocumented students, Juan was part of a cadre of students who created the Almost Project website that provides comprehensive resources for students and community members enrolled in the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals program. While juggling all his other responsibilities, Juan headed the immigration policy group and served as the volunteer coordinator. Working to assist a population that is often marginalized, irrationally feared, and stigmatized, Juan and others involved in the Almost Project found opportunity to act from love. If we followed their lead, we would create a society where everyone belongs and feels appreciated for their humanity. Juan could have waited for a hero. He could have waited for someone else to act. He did not. He took action. Graduates, I encourage you to consider who has shown you love, who has helped you stand tall in adversity, and who has been your ally. From our allies, we gain strength in the face of challenges, compassion and empathy to place ourselves in someone else's shoes, and courage to be our authentic self. It only takes a head nod, a smile, a fleeting memory from one of them, and our strength, our confidence, and our hopefulness is renewed. We all need allies, and we all need to be an ally to others. Our future as a community and as a society rests upon our actions as allies and advocates. If we want a future that's different, we will consider this from Margaret Wheatley. The future doesn't take form irrationally, even though it feels that way. The future comes from where we are now. It materializes from the actions and values and beliefs we're practicing now. We're creating the future every day by what we choose to do and by what we choose not to do. If we want a different future, we have to take responsibility for what we're doing in the present. We have sufficient human capacities to think and reflect together, to care about one another, to act courageously, to reclaim the future. Congratulations again to the class of 2017. Go forward with the knowledge and skills you have here.
honors, some students are invited to participate in challenging honors program that includes interdisciplinary curriculum and additional academic requirements, including a thesis. We commend those students who have persisted in meeting the extra demands of our honors programs. Included in your printed program, you will find the topics of the honors thesis completed by these impressive scholars. Honors program graduates, please stand and let us congratulate you. The graduating class of 2017 totaled 1,668 individuals that have earned 1,680 degrees. Just over 1,000 of these students are here today. 86% of our students are receiving bachelor's degrees, 14% are receiving master's degrees. Our youngest student receiving a degree is 19 years old. Our youngest student receiving a master's degree is 21. The most experienced graduate receiving a bachelor's degree is 63 years young. The most experienced graduate receiving a master's degree is 61 years young. Additionally, our graduates represent 33 of 36 counties in Oregon, the states of Alaska, Arizona, California, Colorado, Florida, Hawaii, Idaho, Iowa, Louisiana, Maryland, Michigan, Mississippi, Montana, Nevada, New Jersey, New Mexico, North Carolina, Ohio, Oklahoma, Texas, Utah, Virginia, Washington, and the U.S. territory of Puerto Rico. An amazing list. Students from around the world, and the 8 countries that are represented here today are China, India, Japan, Libya, Mexico, Saudi Arabia, Singapore, and Tanzania. We have 11 students completing 2 degrees and 1 student completing 2 master's degrees. And finally, we have 14 students at the bachelor's level who have a 4.0 GPA. At the master's level, we have 63 students with a 4.0. We have 166 students who are graduating summa cum laude, a GPA of 3.8. 28 that are graduating magna cum laude, which is a GPA of 3.65 to 3.79. And finally, 135 students who are graduating cum laude, 3.5 to 3.64. Cum laude, magna cum laude, summa cum laude, stand quickly and wave to your families, please. The time has now come to recognize students who are graduating with academic honors and present candidates who confer their degrees. Graduating with honors, I now ask President Provost Sheck to describe the attainment of those students who are graduating and to present those candidates. Thank you, President Ford.
Students who achieve a grade point average of 3.5 or better graduate with honors. As noted in your program, students with grade point averages of 3.5 to 3.64 graduate cum laude. Those with averages from 3.65 to 3.79 graduate magna cum laude. And those with averages from 3.8 to 4.0 graduate summa cum laude. But those designations represent impressive academic achievement. I'd like to ask all students who are graduating with honors to please stand. Magna cum laude graduates only, please be seated. Those graduates still standing are Western's 2017 summa cum laude graduates, or those with a grade point average of at least 3.8. And now will candidates for the master's degree please stand.
By the virtue of the authority vested in me by the Western Oregon University Board of Trustees and upon the recommendation of the faculty of Western Oregon University, I hereby confer upon each of you the master's degree to which you are entitled, with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities pertaining thereto.
All but the first row, please be seated. I now invite the first row to come forward.
Receiving the Master of Science in Education, Jennifer Anna Kepka, Maritza Galvez Vargas, Bilal Corey Lang. Receiving the Master of Arts in Interpreting Studies, Christina Brianne Martinez, Taiwo Adiola Alopadi, Maurice Matansky, Darlia K. Gozak. Receiving the Master of Arts in Teaching, Lincoln Oliver Aspenwood, Stephanie Renee Atkinson, Kenneth Weiser, Jennifer Colette Rose Boatwright, Emily Janelle Bottoms, Hayden McLean Chandler, Casey James Connor, Daniel Christopher Correa, Sherry Durfler, and Jordan Eaton, David Michael Berkman, Donald William Gillen, Shiana Ginocchio, Kylie John Harrington, Malia Lynn Haugen, Michael Hoffman, Adeline Mary Junker, Katia Jari Rivera Hernandez, Jennifer Lynn Lauber, Veronica Corinne Lenderos, Robert Perry McCallum, Carly Ray O'Connell, Natalie Faye Piper, Andrew Mason Small, Emily Rose Smith, Natasha Michelle Trinité, Noah Charles Weldon, Erica Summer Weeblehouse, Derek Christopher, Catherine Diane Aldridge, Mackenzie Ann Cole, Amy Pauline Cunningham, Andrew Charles Jepson, Laura Ann Killam, Miriam Johanna Means. Receiving a Master of Music in Contemporary Music, Thomas Van Dennen. Receiving the Master of Music in Contemporary Music, Erin Kelly Westfall. Jessica Ray Sellers, receiving the Master of Science in Education, Virginia Ann Black. Alethea D. Boyer-Malarski, Jenny Rebecca Anderson, Frank Edward Essay Buckle, Stephanie Joanne Burns, Stephanie Lee Clardy, Caitlin G. Cooper, Kimberly Dawn Compton, Natalie Ione Vega, Brittany Marie Daniel, Brianna Davis, Julie Ruth Drescher, Chelsea Nicole Gill. Chelsea is also receiving a second Master of Science in Education. Jocelyn Marie Hopper. Emily Mae Kennedy. Marco Mario Estella. Robin Ann Lopez Melton. Mario Alberto Martinez Garcia. Carissa Marie Martos. Amanda is also receiving a second Master of Science in Education. Michelle Kathleen Merritt. Quinn Rachel Miller Murphy. Hillary Kayleen Mills. Carly Nicole Binky Nelson. Glenn Bigelow Noah. Christopher Nelson Malloy. Sharon Jane Morgan. Cassie Jane Morrissey Steele. Megan Juaniki, Lauren D. Neville, Savannah Ray Nixon, Hannah Esther Nord, Eric Stephen Palacios, Shannon Nicole Parker, Marcy Jo Primo, Katie Lynn Papa, Michael Francis Royer, Amy Lynn Shoemake, Jordan Dean Sullivan, Kendra Renee Steele, Amy Lane Steinbach, Terry Marie Straylock, Corinne Rogers Thomas, Miranda Jane Woody. Receiving the Master of Science in Education, Cambria Sutter. Receiving the Master's of Science in Education, Zachary Sapp. William Whaley. Receiving the Master of Science in Management and Information Systems, Baru Govindu, Kevin Javier, Elaine Lee, Christian Delfino Ochoa Polento, Monogna Badlamudi, Junfen Jean, Zan Jung. Receiving the Master of Science in Rehabilitation Counseling, Cheryl Lynn Elizabeth McCary, Marilyn Bernice Arensbach, Alexander Patrick Brock, Miranda May Featherstone, David Ellis Lapper, Elizabeth Deanne Mallory, Ronald Cruz, Ashley Shaylin Newbill, Ashley Marie Millette, Stephanie Marie Renard, Sierra Brooke Rowan, Sarah Marie Turner. Receiving the Master of Science in Education, Denise Vishwan. Receiving the Master of Science in Criminal Justice, Carrasco Angela Schlappi. Receiving the Master of Science in Education, Julie Elise Cooper. Renee Marble. Receiving the Bachelor of Science with an emphasis in nursing from the Oregon Health and Science University School of Nursing, Monmouth campus, Stacy Nassim Chance. Elena S. Aiken. Stephen D. Urban, Janet Hendricks, Amanda J. Jacob, Angeline Leggett, Katie Jeanette E. Mansour, Elena N. Olefisa, Stephanie Rodriguez, Vanessa M. Rutherford, Simpson, Tori L. Turner, Kelsey L. Lowe, James Werner, Sarah M. Wilder, Yin Chung,
bachelor's degree in stand.
Oh, she hasn't stood up. Yeah, she has stood up. I stand up. Now,
By virtue of the authority vested in me by the Western Oregon Board of Trustees, and upon the recommendation of the faculty of Western Oregon University, and on behalf of President Robinson of the Oregon Health Science and University School of Nursing, I hereby confer upon each of you the bachelor's degree to which you are entitled, with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities pertaining thereto. Provost Chef, please proceed.
First row to come forward.
receiving the Bachelor of Science in Education, Alicia Dawn Douka, receiving the Bachelor of Arts in American Sign Language, McKenna Billings, Asia Akane Cohen, Emily Catherine Denning. Emily is also receiving the Bachelor of Science in Psychology. Hayden Kelly Arms, Sarah Blythe Lundquist. Sarah is also receiving the Bachelor of Arts in Psychology. Aubrey Lynn Mankins, Brittany Marie McConkie Mack, Adina Rose Nelson, Amy Louise Pella, Kendall Pillman, Nicole Renez, Jacqueline Renee Rogowski, Caitlin Brooks Schwartz, Elizabeth Mary Riley, receiving the Bachelor of Arts in American Sign Language, English Interpreter, Whitney O'Reilly, Ashley Vaughn Cooper, Lorraine Goldberg, Rachel Ileana Gordon, Jamie Nicole Gowdy, Haley Jo Everett, Caitlin Christy Masters, Lynn Elizabeth Murphy, Caitlin Laura Wood, Alyssa Nicole Phoenix. Alyssa is also receiving the Bachelor of Arts in American Sign Language. Shauna J. Putnam, Amber Erica Rowland, receiving the Bachelor of Science in American Sign Language English Interpreter, Patricia Leona Hiroshi, Jacob William Miller, receiving the Bachelor of Arts in Community Health Education, Eduardo Arishiga, Magnolia Gabriel, Jarida Perez Lozano, receiving the Bachelor of Science in Community Health Education, Raylin Ilani Alamani Canojo, Maria Guadalupe Alfa, Ashari A. Al-Rashwad, Dina Palmer Al-Ruwaidi, Janine Marie Anders, Maria Mustafa Netherton, Megan Dale Baker, Sydney Claire Blankenship, Mandy Aline Brooks, Marie Bourgeois, Nicole Lorian Cessna, Felicia Lorraine Pepper, Whitney Lauren Day, James Dupree Turner, Georgia Travis Payne, Haley Alina Flanagan, Sonia Stella Flores, Maria de Jesus Garibe Maciel, Reynaldo Weber, Marcelo Heredia, Cindy Mahina Moylan Ibarra, Aloy Kiano Kalalao, Wendy Lara Murillo, Martha Laura Martinez Camacho, Amanda Chantal Mayer, Amber Jean McKee, Madeline Ann Vesper, Monica Elizabeth Michelle, Christopher Allen Nutter, Monique Ann Morris, Michaela Ray Cody, Shelby Lynn Peterson, Taylor James Reynolds, Bianca Roberts, Dominique Camille Robbins Rogers, Sarah Nicole Shue, Melissa Marie Stewart, Andrea Teeters, Madeline Claire Turner, Agamari Joel Cook, Amy Marie Watkins, Leslie Pauline Welch, Andy Willis, receiving the Bachelor of Arts in Education, Natalia Shalise Ames, Caitlin Jean Byron, Irene Heslamier, Mariah Adelina Castro, Kira Chuka, Larissa Catherine Wood, Julia Nicole Graham, Lydia Rosa de Leon Hernandez, Adriana Christine Larson, Catherine Elaine Nance, Becca Ann Ostrom, Kenzie Lynn Stecker, Kennedy Alexis Stratton, Ashley Ann Timberton, Leonardo Z. Vidal Gonzalez, Laura Nicole White, receiving the Bachelor of Science in Education, Krista Adobe, Amy Anderson, Melanie Ann Del Rama Andrade, Samantha Joe Harris, Jacob Hartman, Andrea Samantha Balthazar, Ashley Marie Benuelos, Shane Ashley Barton, Ashley Kathleen Bouchero, Jason Scott Dorothy D. Rain Bernard, Jennifer Marie Beecham, Jeremy Leone, Amy Nicole Bond, Elizabeth Joy Bond, Michelle Marie Breaker, Christine Marie Dudeselek, Emma Clarissa Ashers, Tina Raymond Perry, Nicole Mary Carson, Gabriela Sen, Johnny Lynn Marie Lina, Andrea Marie Carr, and Elizabeth Colton, Sarah Michelle Crowley, Carly Ray DeLay Brooks, Molly Catherine Dooley, Louisa Margarita Clinton, Samantha Ann Gallagher, Presley Raymond Gesher, Edie Mylene Gus, Caitlin Marie Gooding, Rachel Nicole Gould, Samantha Nicole Gould, Lindsay Grace Ritter, Lisa Ann Hess, Kyle Jacob Gordon, Haley Brianne Hummer, Caitlin Grace Hyde, Eric Alma Jameson, Cindy Carlotta Kostowski, Ryan Koyama, Keaton Thomas Luther, Linda Boo, Daniel Engel Perez Aguilar, Samantha Nicole Phillips, Hannah Marie Phipps, Sarah Elizabeth Crawford, Kelsey Marie and Lynn Levesque, Megan Bennett, Mackenzie Allison Sargent, Crystal Taylor Equina Sumter, Caitlin Rose Shepherd, Karen Sue Sterling, Ashley Renee Stickles, David Takeo Takano, Taylor Louise Wakeman, Chelsea Elizabeth WOU, Becky Nicole White, Dean Michael White, Haley Ann Young. Receiving a Bachelor of Arts in Education Studies, Joanna Laura Damian. Receiving a Bachelor of Arts in Exercise Science, Kelsey Morgan. Camilla Lisa Hobson Lopez, Leah Mackenzie Nicholson. Receiving the Bachelor of Science in Exercise Science, Joshua David May, Laura Alexa Weir, Cassidy Faye Beck, Nolan Albert Brown, Rowan Lester Cheney, Lucas Quinn Clark, Matthew David Porter, Gavin Thomas Powers, Emma Lee Curry, Emma Jo Ingle, Wiley Marie Gillian, Mercedes Lee Green, Jonathan F. Paul, Sadie Roxanne Pastor, Catherine Amelia Helger, Phoebe Kane Henry, Jonathan James Jones, Ryan Alana Cody, Jessica Lee Crott, Destiny Tana Marie Jewell, Haley LeVay Manafort, Renee Nin, Alejandro Maria Matthews, Deanna Laura Orozco, Sharon Francis Murray, Sienna Nego Adele Nascimento, Alvaro Pedroso, Laura Nicole Patrick, Marissa Polanco, Christine Elizabeth Redford, Melina Royer, Tyler Andrew Summerfeld, Melissa Catherine Southern, Allison Renee Stark, Luke Hagen Stubbs, Alexander K. Vanderberg, Shannon Mackenzie Wagner, Olivia Marie Watula, Charles Yett. Receiving the Bachelor of Arts in Education, Courtney Royer. Receiving the Bachelor of Science in Community Health Education, Betsy Niagara Chavez. Receiving the Bachelor of Science in Education, Frankie Christie. Rachel Bullen. Receiving the Bachelor of Science in Exercise Science, Marissa Method. Alex S. Emerson. Receiving the Bachelor of Science in Chemistry, Connor Jack Thompson. Receiving the Bachelor of Arts in Social Science, Laura L. Miranda. Receiving the Bachelor of Arts in Anthropology, Celia Grace Johnson. Current William Brown. Jessica Angelina Madden. Anna Michelle Trujillo. Receiving the Bachelor of Science, Catherine Bruce Pierce. Joshua Jim. Receiving the Bachelor of Science in Biology, Michaela Alexandra Bearden. Karen Siobhan Brennan. Victoria Adele Ross. Mary Lou Elena Garcia Duran. Cody Glenn Cooper. McKenna D. Lindlow. Mackenzie Catherine Lidwell. Michelle Nicole Dan. Orion Marcelo McKenna. Tracy Lynn Shonda Zone. Austin Stephen Laura Guadalupe Garrett, Trevor Dance, Nicholas Andrew Dupe, Leonor Jacqueline Guerrero Landa, Kevin Lewis Fox, Jessica Lynn Hastings, Kelsey Ray Bird, Alexis Marie Jennings, Brittany Dawn Hawes, Kelsey Renee Tompkins, Nicole Catherine Hess, Taylor Hugo, Will J. Paul, Eli Eichhardt, Max Jackson, Jim Shaw, Chief, Molly Jean Rose Johnson, Tyler Dean Jones, Lindsay Henry Jones, Dennis Page Parrish, Adrian Nicole Michael Booth, Sophia Ray Hopkins Laverna, Sarah Nell Hill, Aisha Yu, Tina Yu, Catherine Lundquist, Max M. Marshall, Trevor Robert Mason, Aaron Matthews, David Gerald McDowell Jr., Darian Wayne Horner, Jacob Morrison, Brendan Eric Norby, Erica Flora Oliva, Nicole Olivas Leiva, Leighton Stanford Kenny Liao Wang, Louis Jr., Ryan James Parsons, Ashley Rochelle Pedersen, Emily Elizabeth Pelletier, Adam Jeremy Ramos, Kevin Patrick Ramsey, Kubule Kobe Lonnie Siola, Elena Rankin, Michaela Raposa, Ashley Cole Jill Wood, Kelly Kate Ann Rich, John Rios, Kelsey LeRae Rushville, Ryan John Rogers, Miguel Yunel Sanchez Ratcliffe, Courtney James Schneider, Jordan Anthony Schreiber, Danielle Smith, Trent Vallejo Okalani Smith, Tyler James Snyder, Joseph Ryan Sawyer, Brittany Wilani Soriano Tequila, Anthony Marion Steele, Jordan Keenan, Kevin Daniel Timmons, Michael Joseph Thompson, Seth Edward Hunter, Tyler Jerome Hunter, Curtis Dean Van Driesch, Savannah Linda Marie Vickers, Graciela Big, Noah Boyd Watkins, Levi Mark Watkins, Caitlin Faye Rutherford, Nikki Janelle Weaver, Trinity Samuel Webb, Kelsey May Wilson, Yang Shu, Wen Hao Wu, Lindsay Cho, Tony Cho, Chani Chu, Katie Jean Swicker, receiving the Bachelor of Science in Chemistry, Adam H. Bishop, Estelle Jeanette Ferranza, Ava Renee Castillo, Marco Grace Davis, Erickson Gregorievich Haracho, Robert Lopez, Peter Van Wynn, Abigail Story Oswald, Maravisa Inez Pena, Sam Station, Marilyn May Weatherly, Chelsea Nicole Whiting. Receiving the Bachelor of Arts in Communication Studies, Jordan Lee Anderson, Karen Marie Thatcher. Jordan Mary Watershaw. Jeanne Shelby R. Cobblestone. Julia Marie Prince. Nikki Taylor Wood. Layla Alwan. Lola Marassa. Catherine Elizabeth Boyd. Angel Susan Kopovich. Patrick Dutton. Abel Nicole Fields. Joseph Delbert Poe. Michael Robert Hanson. Elsa Marie Pope. Brittany Maureen Kino. Kelly Aiko Mansour. Tessa Marie Matthews. Natalie Coles. Olivia Ramos. Samuel Joseph Reed. Jennifer Jalen Smith. Haley Ann Stanley. Matthew James Sawyer. Aaron Keenan Taylor. Melissa Lynn Trujillo. Edward Brendan. Soria Ann Watanabe. Receiving Ryan Matthew Ruffler. Receiving the Bachelor of Science in Computer Science, Ahmed Al-Mutayeb. Sarah Jean Alvarado. Nicholas J. Belcher. Christopher Easton. Anthony Craig Lambert. Terrence Sweeney. Receiving the Bachelor of Science, Computer Science and Mathematics, Jonathan Elliott. Hoxton. Karen B. Casper. Wayne Elliott Rhodes. Receiving the Bachelor of Music and Contemporary Music, Emily Louise Nelson. Alicia Marie Hasty. Eugene Brown. London Lyon. Kenneth Jones Sheldon. Ethan James Wilson. Red Ron Rue. Sheldon Drew. Receiving the Bachelor of Arts, Joaquin Moon. Receiving the Bachelor of Science in Music, Keenan Benjamin. Nicholas Baisley Smith. Receiving the Bachelor of Arts, Criminal Justice, Kellen Fisher, Stephen Andrew Miller, Rudy Garcia, Jordan Richard Gray, Haley Nicole Moore, Andrew Thomas Hawk, Cody Morgan Davis, Rachel Hawk, David Vila, Michael Kirby, Leanne Kessler, Jimmy Nicholas William Clark, Christopher Warren Lewis, Michael Claremont Pools, Jeff Susan Correcti, Joseph Lauren Triggle, Jesse Van Lack. Jesse is also receiving a Bachelor of Science in Psychology. Cheryl D. Lowe, Hannah Diane Matthews, Angela Marlene Kimball, Heather McRae, Allison K. Miller, Shannon Kelly Long, Paige Elizabeth Warren, Ryan Allen Angel, Lovecraft Goliath, Olivia Rona Aline Perry, Jim Michael Peterson, Carly Ann Philpott, Catherine Sierra Pettis, Hagan LaRue Paul, Ethan Ron Presley, Lisa Grace, Richard Rogers III, Delaney Rojas, Trey Garrett Smith, Sammy Dwight Smith Jr., Tiffany Jessica Stover, Christine Marie Tinker, Matthew Robert Owen, Benjamin Booth Turner, Jordan Christopher Law, Leonard Harvey Wood, Devontae Ray Woods, receiving the Bachelor of Arts in Dance, Jane Hannah Hall Schmerbush, Christy Lauren Martinez, receiving the Bachelor of Science in Dance, Jordan K. Daniels, Jamal Christopher Davis, Adrienne Jordan Coopers, Brittany Blair Fortune, receiving the Bachelor of Science in Food Science, Colby Stu Childers, William Paul Edwards Jr., Brandon Daniel Quinn, Noah Briggs Hill, Alicia Leanne Hart, Joshua Caleb Lucas, Thomas Allen Howard, Ian Norton Brown, Paul Douglas Rossi, Bachelor of Science in Economics, Marwa Hussein Al-Ghazi, Kumul Al-Rabi, Sidney Cummins, Mark Abdullah Mansour, Alexander Michael Rock, Amelia Grace Children, receiving the Bachelor of Arts in Interdisciplinary Studies. Cassandra Lynn Schaus, receiving the Bachelor of Fine Arts in Theater. Oliver John Michael Burr, Janelle Ray Davis, Stephen H. Wilson, Michael Jeffrey Westler, Angeliki DeMorgan, receiving a Bachelor of Science in Theater Arts. Sarah Jane Potter, Candice Jane Brazil, receiving the Bachelor of Arts in Visual Communication Design. Jim Brightman, Yushin Khan, receiving the Bachelor of Science in Visual Communication Design. Kimberly Michelle Acoleda, Haley Nico Bird, Marco Elaine Collins, Keontae Fernand Dixon, McKenna Elizabeth Harris, Kimberly Paul, Ruth Lee, Iman Duke, Stephanie Curtis, Robert Pickett Berger, receiving the Bachelor of Science in Applied Mathematics, Jose Fernandez, receiving the Bachelor of Arts, Yu Chen, receiving the Bachelor of Science in Biology, Jennifer Sepple, receiving the Bachelor of Science in Sociology, Jacob Stewart, receiving the Bachelor of Science in Information Systems, Faisal Aleva, receiving the Bachelor of Science in Criminal Justice, Ingu Pig, receiving the Bachelor of Science in Visual Communication Design, Shishu Chung, receiving the Bachelor of Science in Visual Communication Design, Shaki Shu, receiving the Bachelor of Science in Mathematics, Andrew Boland, receiving the Bachelor of Science in Business, Juno Wong, receiving the Bachelor of Science in Business, Hinton Hong, receiving the Bachelor of Science in Information Systems, Mahan Amrusha, receiving the Bachelor of Science in Chemistry, Adil Atif Abuzanata, receiving the Bachelor of Arts in Music, Sujun Zhang.
Ladies and gentlemen, again I present 2017 graduates of Western Oregon University and graduates of Oregon Science University. Congratulations. Great things are we have Westerners are pleased to be your partners. Although you may be leaving us, students we welcome you as permanent members of our Alumni Association. Please keep in touch. As our commencement ceremony comes to a close, I would like to thank the commencement committee, faculty and staff, marshals, and their assistants. I also want to express appreciation to the staff members of the Registrar's Office, physical plant, campus public safety, as well as the law. Special thanks to our interpreters, Christine Burkham, Darcy Kim, Alicia Newberg, Audrey Laudenbach, Michael Rose, and Stacey Stevens. Round of applause. Graduates, immediately following today's ceremony, we will gather in the Grove for a special reception in your honor. We invite all family members, friends, faculty, and staff, and guests to join us. We ask that everyone please remain seated until the platform committee has exited the area. On behalf of everyone at Western Oregon University, thank you for being part of this year's